Okay everyone, thank you for joining me. We are going to dive into Train Sim World 2 CSX Heavy Haul tonight. Q217, an auto rack train from Philadelphia to Connellsville. We're starting in Cumberland, Maryland. This is not my first time playing Train Sim World 2. I did buy this about a month ago, and I've been really enjoying it. It is very in-depth, right down to what you're seeing right here. I've got to go in and set the train brake and set up the independent brake. You're going to want to have that auto brake cut in and the independent brake set to lead. You want to save your changes by hitting F6 and then put that generator field switch on. I do believe you can go right down to just shutting this engine off completely if you wanted to. There are a lot of other switches on the back panel, which I'm not going to get into because, well, I mean, it's not necessary right now. Maybe when I have some more time, I'll go and mess around with it. Just want to take a look and see what we have here. Our lead engine's this CSX T283. It's an AC 4400. I love that paint scheme though. YN2, yellow nose, the bright blue, the gray. I grew up seeing CSX trains in this paint scheme, and it really reminds me of being a kid watching trains. And not to say that YN3, the dark blue scheme, isn't nice. I'm partial to the older scheme. We'll set our headlights to bright. Got that window open now for a nice breeze. I'd say we're about ready to go here. It's a good looking train. It's all behind us, right where it needs to be. Again, we're in Cumberland Yard, Cumberland, Maryland. And we are going to take this train over Sand Patch. Alright. So, we've got our train set up. We're going to have to release the train brake. Bring that down to 40%. I'm going to put that independent brake up just because I'm not sure if we're on a grade. We should be pretty flat and level right now since we're in a train yard, but that way it it keeps us stopped until we're ready to start motion there. Sound the bell to warn people that we are going to start moving. And we'll go ahead and release that independent brake. Hey, we're moving slowly. Well, we got 2 lightning bolts, so this shouldn't be an issue. Start throttling out a little bit, notch 2. You look at the detail on the side of the engine when you stick your head out. I like that. Look at the reflection on the window. It's like we're starting to move now. You can hear the diesel engine revving up. That took way more throttle than I thought it would need. Eastbound coal train looks like he's on the move now. Heading to what the port of Baltimore, maybe. Export coal. We are Heading on out. Looks like they got us lined up to run the yard lead. I don't know. What do you want to call that? A runner track? The main tracks, main 1 and main 2. The closest track is main. Well, the far track is main 1. The track next to that would be main 2. I don't know what we're on right now. And if you just look at the highway detail, like, that looks like a real road. Like, it looks like they somehow incorporated, like, the Google Street View into trains. We are, right now, not on the sand patch. Well, that's the... and I have to get this right, the Keystone Subdivision. We're currently on the Cumberland Terminal Subdivision. That runs from a place called Mexico all the way to Beale Street. It's a great outside shot right there. So, I think the signal that you see ahead there, I believe that would be Virginia Avenue. I'm looking at a timetable, so I'm trying to base it off of that. I think this is either Virginia Avenue or we're coming up to Viaduct Junction. I'm going to say we have a restricted signal right there where my cursor is. So that would mean that we have to proceed not exceeding 15 or 20 miles per hour, stopping within the half the range of vision, short of any obstruction that we see ahead. Okay, so this is Viaduct Junction, and the track that you see here peeling off to the left, that is the Mountain Sub. That goes down towards, I think, like Charleston or Keystone, West Virginia, something like that. But we would be coming onto the Keystone Subdivision of the old B&O, and oh, looks like we've got another eastbound train crossing over to main number 1. Looks like a couple workhorses. One ST40-2 leading a AC4400. You have to watch yourself. That little on the bottom right of the screen there, where you see the heads-up display, the right side. That's telling you what kind of a grade you're on. And we've got a lot of terrain. It looks like it's starting to push us down. So that's why we keep exceeding the speed limit here. I think if I just keep it at idle, we'll be okay. That signal's facing the other direction. I can't get over the great detail on this. Train Sim World 2 it's really, I'm impressed. It's more than what I thought it would be. Because, you know, well, open up that window first. You know, sometimes you see the advertisements, you see the videos, and you think, oh, that looks awesome. But then it's nothing like what you get in the actual game. But that theory was proven wrong with Train Sim World 2. And this is just the summertime right here. So, you know, with the change of seasons, the scenery changes too, which you will see as I do more of these videos. But let's just sit back and have a little fun for right now. You don't know how great it is to see chassis cabooses like the ones off to the right there, coming through the town of Heinemann. You'll see in the top left corner the Go Via location. It's telling you, it tells you where you're going and how far you've gotten. We've got less than 50 feet, or 50 yards. Objective complete. Now we're going via Mance. And that's 12 miles from here. So this whole main line is double track. We're riding on main number 1, so I guess you could consider that to be the eastbound. I'm sorry, the westbound main, and then main 2 would be the eastbound main. And we're moving way too quickly now. Well over the speed limit, so I've got it into dynamic brake now. See if that can bring our speed back down. Looks like we've got an eastbound jet train coming our way. Do they still call them jet trains? Do they still call them jet trains on CSX in these parts? Like a trailer jet. That's what CSX used to call their intermodal trains. They're called trailer jets. And I think they, before the Q symbol, like the Q followed by a 3-digit number, it was a J for trailer jet. And that's how they designated all their intermodal trains. At the same time, all the road trains were R. That was a little fun fact. And then I guess I could insert another fun fact here. The reason why all trains have the Q symbol, or the majority of the intermodal auto rack and manifest trains carry a Q symbol, is because they originally set the Q symbol up for quality freight, and it was supposed to be any freight that was like a high priority or a higher priority than the R trains. And what happened was customers complained that they weren't, that their freight was not on the quality train. You know, hey man, you put my freight on the regular train, the R train. I want to be on the Q train. I want my freight expedited. So eventually they just got tired of dealing with that, and they switched them all to Q, to quality freight. And Q100s, that's all your intermodal. Q200s would be automotive, and then your Q300 and up would be your freight. At least that's the way I understand it. It just looks great. Like, I can feel the summer heat right now. I can really picture myself sitting in the cab of this train, this engine, and I can, like, with the swaying motion that the cab has, and then just the overall atmosphere, it's a whole nother level than any train simulator game that I've played. Like right now, I can feel the heat radiating off these two engines as they're working uphill. And you would think with all the trees and all of the foliage and scenery that are on this route, you would think with all the scenery on this route that your frame rates would be terrible, but even leaving Cumberland, I was still doing pretty well. And I think the camera, the recording software may have glitched out a tad bit in the beginning, but for the most part, it's a smooth ride. And that has a lot to do with Train Sim World's, the engine that runs it is well updated. The way I understand it is that the original Train Sim World was on an older engine, and well, let's just call it the guts of Train Sim World 2 allows for more expansion, so that it can be developed more and more, whereas the previous version was a lot more restrictive. And we do have two pushers on the rear, which to me, they don't seem to be doing anything except idling, so more or less dead weight, unless, I don't know, maybe if I cut away from them then I would feel a difference, but as of right now, they definitely don't seem like they're working very hard, and I could probably use it. I'm at knot 6, I could go up a little bit higher, but, you know, I feel like we could use that right now. So I think I already said this already, but when you first leave Cumberland, you get to open up the throttle a bit, and you're doing the 40s and the 50s, but once you get to sorry, I had to look at the timetable. Once you get up to Hindman, that's when you start to slow down, and I looked in the timetable, it says freight trains are 25 miles per hour. So that's clearly for safety reasons when you're working over the grades that you have on Sand Patch, which are pretty intense. Weird. Good now. So we've completed our objective to hit Mance, and now that we've done that, it looks like in 3.1 miles we are going to stop. Again, you can see the heads up display in the top left corner there telling you you can also enable or disable objective markers that will actually point out the location. So that is available if you want that, but you know, look at the detail, like just on the underframe of the engine. You can't see it now, but it's just all of it together. I'm very, very impressed. And I have a tendency to get bored quickly with simulator games. After one run, I'll be like, well, I've already seen it, so what else is there to do? But this is something I feel like I could probably repeat this many more times and still find some small detail that I didn't notice before. So if you haven't, or if you're not sure, I would 100% recommend Train Sim World 2. Alright, got an approach medium. And that would mean we have to approach the next signal at no greater than 30 miles per hour, and then or be prepared to take the next signal at medium speed, which is defined as 30 miles per hour. And look at the weeds. See along the fence line. I mean, it's very impressive. But I don't think that signal's our signal. Yeah, that would be for the other track there, because we are passing a siding right here at Manila. And this also is the entrance to Sand Patch Tunnel. That would also be the summit of Sand Patch Grade. So we have now ascended the east slope. And just on the other side of this tunnel, we will be going down the west slope. And so there are some glitches in the system. I guess with it being such a new game that this is probably some sort of a rendering issue that needs to be fixed, but I'm sure that it will be in the first update or quite soon afterwards. Did you hear that? The echo of the horn inside the tunnel? That's something that if it hadn't have been there, I wouldn't have noticed. But now I do. And if I were to do that in any other train simulator and it didn't do that, I would now notice it. Again, this is my first... actually, no, this isn't my first. This is my second Dovetail product that I've purchased. The first one being a console, the PlayStation Train Sim World for the console. And they've got an approach signal now, so now we have to approach the next signal prepared to stop. At this point, need to start slowing down a little bit. 0.7 miles to go. And like I was saying, I did have Train Sim World for the console, but and I think it's a great idea that that Dovetail is starting to develop for the console, but the gameplay is difficult, especially using a PlayStation controller to do so. Alright, so we got our stop indication right up ahead here. at this point, we are going to stop the train. I've got full dynamics on now. This is going to be a grandstand stop right here, buddy. Yeah, I don't know how professional that was, but it did stop the train, so it did the trick, whatever I did there. Knock off that dynamic brake. Go ahead and let's get that independent brake and train brake on there. Yeah, set some air. I guess it's not going to let me put the reverser in neutral, but you know what? That would be something you would do if you were going to uncouple two vehicles. This is where we're going to have to set them helpers out. I guess they want me to go. I mean, there's a crew on that train, right? This is they can go back there and do that, can't they? All right, lights are on dim. I mean, I guess if why don't you do it? You're the conductor. Well, I guess if you're just gonna stay there, I'm gonna go do it myself. Before I do, though, I think. No. All right. Yeah, no, I need to do it. We got to have three-step protection even though we don't have the reverser set, but that's not my fault. So, generator field is off. We got that three-step, or two-step protection, I guess you would call it. Yeah, not going to work, so. By the way, if you're not railroad savvy, three-step protection is reverser into the neutral position. Train or the independent brake is set, and the generator field switch is turned off, which takes the electricity away from the traction motors, and that provides protection for the conductor to go in between and hook up air hoses, operate handbrakes, pull the cut lever, and that's what we're going to do right now. I'm going to pull the cut lever because I can't operate that handbrake there. I guess I'm just going to pull the cut lever and see what happens. I could operate that handbrake, but I don't want to. Okay, so it is uncoupled, and I guess I start walking back to the head end. I mean, this could have taken a long time. If this was in real life, there would be a guy back here to do this, or I'd have some kind of a taxi. Oh. No? Okay. See you later. Okay, for a second I thought maybe I didn't set a handbrake and it just started rolling, but you can hear the engines revving up, so it's the helper set. The crew is heading back to the helper base to get ready to push another train up the hill. And I guess with him leaving now, I should start heading back towards the head end. Yep. Here we go. Alright. I'm not out of breath. I'm feeling good. So, let's just take a second. Look at the under frame. Just look at the way that the glare from the light is. I mean, wow. You can see the grime on the fuel tank. You can see the grime along the frame itself. That yellow stripe, that should be a lot brighter than it is. That's a lot of dirt and grime from over the years. I feel like if I were to touch the nose of this engine, my hand would be completely black. Let's get back inside. Okay, close that door. And close this door here. generator field switch is gonna be turned on. Got the electricity back to the traction motors. We're already in forward, so don't have to worry about that. Go ahead and start. Release the train brake. Start charging up that air. Oh man, we are already moving. Look at that road, just the detail, and it looks like the road's under construction up here. Yeah, looks like they got the road closed off altogether. So gonna sound the horn. 2 longs, a short and a long. Go ahead and we have to repeat that at every crossing at grade. That long, short, long. Which, another fun fact, that's Morse code for the train is coming. So as you can see, I released the brakes. I'm in dynamics right now, and you kind of need it right now because we're really picking up speed. So we've now departed Sand Patch. We are now heading west. I think that might have been the Western Maryland. Of course abandoned now, but I think that was the Western Maryland main that we just went under. See these parts right here, the B&O and the Western Maryland, they competed with each other, and then the B&O acquired the Western Maryland. And since the Western Maryland and the B&O were essentially duplicate routes, so going a little quickly, speeding up. All right, into the dynamics we go. Since the Western Maryland and the B&O were essentially duplicate routes, there was no longer a need for the Western Maryland now, so most of it was abandoned in favor of the B&O, which, if what I have heard is true, the B&O had a tendency to build right through the mountains, and the grades were a lot less severe. The Western Maryland, their tactic was just to build their track right over top the mountain, and with much more severe grades, it was a less favorable route. This is Glade City that we're coming through right now. Milepost 213. Few crossings to blow the horn for. See, the detail here, it's so great that I didn't just notice that there were, what, 3 stations? fairly certain we just passed 3 stations. The same building duplicated the same town, but I mean, no worries, it's not that big of a deal. I just happened to notice it. That's a pretty impressive structure right there. I don't know what that is. I don't know if that was another railroad line that crossed, if that was the Western Maryland, or... It definitely looks like a railroad bridge. I don't think anyone would ever build a road like that. Probably the Western Maryland. I think that was the only other railroad in these parts. And I got another whistle post there, so we got another grade crossing coming up. So, this route runs from Cumberland, Maryland, which is the start of the Keystone Subdivision and the famous sand patch grade. And it runs about halfway. And I got a clear signal. This is Yoder that we're coming through right now, milepost 218. And this is a essentially just a siding track, a 5,200 foot siding. And then at the other end of Yoder is Garrett. So the sand patch line goes from Cumberland and it ultimately reaches Connellsville, which is just south of Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. However, the Train Sim World 2 version's only going to Rockwood, which is, there's a mine there. Looks like we're passing another eastbound train. This is looks like a grain train. I would say that's a grain train. Another clear signal ahead there. So I got a clear signal at Garrett, milepost 219.5, and then this is getting us pretty close to Rockwood, so Rockwood would be milepost 226. I'm sure that if you're a employee, CSX employee, and you are a conductor or engineer, you would probably run Connellsville all the way to Cumberland or reverse. So, and I'm very impressed with the detail of this. Mountain railroading is something that I'm not super familiar with. I'm more of a flatland guy, and I would love to see like a Willard sub or an NS route. Maybe something that's not necessarily obscure, but something that is more Midwest. And I don't know if that's just, I don't know how they decide what routes they do. I'm sure that they want to use a route that's going to be popular with a lot of people. Sand patch would definitely fit that description. Just like the Pennsylvania Railroad between Altoona and Pittsburgh, with Horseshoe Curve, another famous route. I think Mariah's Pass was probably made famous by the original train simulator back in 2000. And then like Cajon Pass to Tehachapi. Those would be the high-profile railroad lines in America that everyone knows about. But I'd love to see a flatland line, maybe something where you could do a little bit of switching in, because the level of detail on this, and especially if you can build routes, which, okay, that's another thing too. With Train Sim World 2, there is the addition of a livery editor, which means you can take one of the stock engines offered in the game and you can paint it however you'd like. As far as I know, you cannot like upload logos or anything, so you would have to do it all by hand. But then another feature that they are starting to test, and you can actually, there's a YouTube video now out. I'll link it in my description if I can remember to do so, where they show the route editor, how it would be, how you would see it, and how it would look. That's something that I really enjoy doing. I love to create routes, and I like to drive trains, but my real passion is building routes. And so far, the only option that's been available has been trains, which is it still Iran? I don't know if Iran still makes, if that's still the, well, whatever, the trains with a Z. Trains 2019 is the one I'm using right now. And I think Rail Simulator, about 10 years ago, they tried it too, where you could do Route Creator, but Trains is definitely the easiest. I earned 100 miles. Congratulations to me. Looks like, looks like double yellow. No? Did I completely get that wrong? I did. It's just a yellow. I have to cheat. Hold on. I've got to cheat and find out what it is. It's an approach. Just an approach signal. That's an old DNO style signal. And we're going to be bringing it to a stop right here. This is Rockwood, and the virtual crew change point on the railroad. So, got a stop signal now, and we're going to bring this guy to a stop, and that would close out this ride over Sand Patch. Go ahead, we got the throttle, put the brake on. Alright, we can put it in neutral again, so we can finally achieve a proper 3-step protection. Lights on, dim. It says I have another 28 yards to go. I mean, do I really? I mean, I get it. You want me to stop here. There should be a little bit more of a margin of error for that, I would think. Because, like, you wouldn't stop. I mean, you probably wouldn't get a red signal anyways. You would probably keep going. You know, the dispatcher would probably have you lined up, even if you were coming to a stop to do a crew change. We're going to have to go ahead and bring this train forward a little bit more. We're on a downhill grade, so just should be able to just release the brakes here and maybe creep down. Give it a shot. I mean, you would never stop that close to a stop signal if you could avoid it. You would. I think the rule is like 1,000 feet from a red signal. Well, when in Rome, I suppose. Here we go. 25 yards to go. Yep, I'm moving again. So, overall, this didn't take too long. But... Alright, go ahead and stop. No. Keep going. 8, 7... And I don't want to pass the red signal. I think we got it. Cool. And this is the performance evaluation. I would say we didn't do too bad. So, because I did this in another game that I did not record, this return to free roam option that I'm clicking on, this is cool. So I'm going to set this train up. Yep. Bell off. Well, headlights to dim. Turn them off altogether. You're in CTC territory. It looks like a clear signal now. I don't know if I could actually operate this train any further. I haven't gotten nothing here. So, gonna get on up. Grab my bag. Are you gonna stay here? Oh, you've changed a little bit since I last saw you. Alright, have a good day. I'm out. And... Yep. Close the door. And... Climb down. Okay, another debriefing? I don't... Okay, so then I want to go back to free roam. There we go. I'm off the engine now. Looks like there's a clear signal. New crew's on board, maybe. Oh, and there he goes. And I think that's what sells me on the game at the end of the day. The fact that you can climb off the engine, open it and close the doors, step onto the ballast, and then your train departs just like it would in real life. There it goes. Just like that. So, this Q217, which says it's going to Connellsville, I looked it up, it says it goes to Louisville, Kentucky, so obviously there was a change at some point in the schedule. My guess is maybe this train goes to Connellsville, gets broken up, new cars added, some cars taken off, and then it leaves Connellsville with all Louisville traffic on it. In fact, a lot of that's probably empty going to Louisville. I think there's a large assembly plant in Louisville, so those are probably empty racks going back to be loaded. And I guess I go find my truck. This looks like my truck right here. The best looking truck on the lot. I'll take this one. That was it. I don't know, maybe you can hear the generator there running. I mean, this is cool. It's quiet. Train is gone, and I can really I feel like I'm actually here. It's very immersive. I'm really, really excited to see what Train Sim World does in the future, but I think with that, we're going to call it quits for today, and I will do this again very soon. Thank you for watching, and you guys have a great day.